Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. War. Today we're going to be looking at how do you find the zeros of a polynomial. Now, to find the zeros of a polynomial, you can use the quadratic formula. So I have the quadratic formula right here, and you use it if you have ax squared plus bx plus c and it equals to 0. Now I know this doesn't equals to 0. My problem doesn't say that, but actually it does. It says the zeros of the function. And notice here is your polynomial. And they have then x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and all of that is divided by 2a. Now, you do not have to memorize the quadratic formula. It is actually given to you on the TASC reference sheet. So let's take a look. So here is your mathematics reference sheet, which will be given to you on the day of the TASC test, whether you're taking the computerized version or the paper and pencil. And it's right down here. So notice I have it circled, so you do not have to memorize. You just need to go to the reference sheet. So we want to find the zeros of this polynomial. Now we're going to use the calculator. So the first thing we have to do is we have to identify who's our A, who's our B, and who's our C. So if we go to our polynomial, notice there's not a number in front of the x squared. There actually is. Remember, it's a 1. So this is your A, here's your B, and this is your C. A has a value of 1, B has a value, and take the sign that's in front, negative 2, and C has a value of negative 24. So we need to identify who is A, who is B, and who is C. Always remember, A is always paired with your x squared, B is paired with your x, and C is your last constant. Again, mathematicians, they were not creative. So if you look at it, A, B, C, doesn't it remind you of the Pythagorean theorem without the squares? Okay, so we've identified who is A, who is B, who is C. Now we need to get our calculator. I'm going to try to go slow with this, and I'm also going to put the keystrokes for you on the other page so that you can practice, because it's a little bit tedious and you have to practice this. So your first step is we're going to enter 1. Then we're going to press the store button. Now notice when I press the store button, you see a little arrow. Right here, notice where you have X, Y, Z, T, A, B, C. This is your variables. So we want to assign A with 1. Now you're going to have to press this button a couple of times, and I've counted out in my head. You have to press it 5 times. So let's go. Notice when I press it the first time, they give you the variable of X. The second time, Y. Now they give me Z, T, and there's our A. So if you press it 5 times, you're going to get your A. And then your next step, enter. We're going to have to do this again. Negative 2, store. Okay, we have to go back to our variable function, and we're going to have to press this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on the 6th time, it's going to give you the B. And we're going to press enter. Okay, our last variable is C, and it's negative 24. Negative 24, store. Okay, we're going to have to press this 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've actually memorized how many times because it makes it easier for me when I'm pressing. And then your last step is enter. So in the calculator, notice I've stored the value for A, the value for B, and the value for C. Now we're going to input the quadratic formula into the calculator. I know that sounds a bit scary, but it's okay. After that, you're going to press the fraction function, n over d, I'm going to write the quadratic formula because I have my calculator blowing up really big and you need to see it. Okay, so it's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and all of that is over 2a. Let's begin. We want negative. Now we need a b, so you're going back to your variable function, and remember b, you have to press this 6 times. So over here, I'm going to write how many times you need to press it. So it is 5 times. This you have to press 6 times, and this is 7 times. This will help you. After a while, you'll memorize it. So we need b, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's your minus b. Now the calculator, you can't put plus and minus in there. So we're going to start with addition first. So I'm going to press plus. We need the square root symbol. Second function, x squared. Now notice when you press second function x squared, you get the square root function. And we're going to enter what's inside of that, which is a b squared. So we're going back here to our variable. So remember, you have to press this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need to square it right there. And then we're subtracting 4. Okay, we need the a. We have to press it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our a. Now here's where it comes a little bit tricky. You need to get that c. So in order to do that, you have to go to your keypad here and press to the right. Go back to the variable, and we need the c. So you need to press function 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now your next step is you're going to have to go down. Then we need a 2. Then we need a. And a, we have to press the button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count them off because I don't want to look down. Okay, great. And then your last step, enter. Now notice when you press enter, it gives you the answer of 6. So if you go into our answer choices, 6 is right here. So your answer is number 3. Suppose that we had 2 6s. I have an example where we have 2 numbers that are the same. Now remember, with the formula you have plus and minus. Now we only did it for plus. You now have to do it for minus. Supposing we want to find the other value. I know you're probably looking at me like I'm crazy, or looking at your cell phone, your iPad, your Kindle. If this lady thinks I'm going to enter all of that again, she has to be crazy. No, you do not have to enter it again. You're going to press the up arrow, and you're going to press the up again. Now notice when I press the up, I highlighted the 6 first, and now I've highlighted the quadratic formula. You're going to press enter. Now when you've done that, you've copied the formula again. We need to now go in and change this plus sign right here to a subtraction sign. And to do that, we're going to use our left button. So when we press that, notice I'm going back into the formula backwards. So I'm just going to keep going. Okay, it's going to take you a while. I should actually count this, but I didn't. Okay, right there. You want to get right there. You see where it's blinking at the plus? And you're going to change that to a minus. Now, once it's changed to a minus, just hit enter. Now, when you hit enter, notice you see the negative 4. And the zeros for this function are negative 4 and 6. Now, I'd like you to stop the video and try to use your calculator to get this answer right here. So right here, I have the keystrokes that I want you to press. You would enter 1, store, then you would press this function 5 times. That's what that little 5 means, 5 times, and then hit enter. then -2 store. You're going to press your variable function 6 times and hit enter. Then the -24 store. Okay, you're going to press your variable function 7 times and then hit enter. Then your next step is you're going to press the fraction function. You're going to enter the formula. So you're going to press negative. You're going to press the variable function 6 times plus second function x squared, the variable function 6 times, then x squared, subtract 4. You're going to press your variable function 5 times. And you're going to go across. Then you're going to press your variable function 7 times to get the c. Then you're going to press down the 2. You're going to press your variable function 5 times to get your a. And then when you hit enter, you should get the -6. Stop the video and try what I just did. Okay, we have 2 functions to solve, and we're going to use our calculator. We want the zeros for the fx equals to 3x squared minus 3x minus 6. I'm going to write the formula. I'm going to write it down here. So the quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac. All of that is over 2a. So let's start with this one. So my a is 3, my b is -3, and my c is -6. Okay, let's get our calculator. It's going to take you a while, but practice makes perfect. If you do this once a day, you remember it by the time you get to your TASC test. So remember the steps. 3, store, and we need our a. So remember 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then enter. Okay, we want -3, store. Our variable, we need b. So that would be 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. We want our c now, which is a -6. So -6, store. And we're going to click the variable function 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we hit enter. This should what you should see on your calculator. Now we need the fraction function. And now we're going to enter our equation. Now remember, we're just going to start with the plus. I always start with the plus first. Negative. We need b. So that's 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus. We need the square root symbol. Second function, x squared. We need b again. So again, we have to press this 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we need to square it. So we need x squared. We're subtracting. We need a 4. We need a. So we're going to have to press this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, you have to go across. And we need c. So we need to press this 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we come down. And we need a 2. And we need a. So we need to press this 5 times. And you can see from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we hit enter. Notice I get a value of 2. So my answer is 3 or 4. So we got to figure out which one it is. Again, we're not going to write this formula again. So we go up. And we go up again. And once the equation is highlighted, you hit enter. And then we're going to start going backwards. So now you're going to press the left button. Okay, I'm going to count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. Okay, so when you press it 15 times, you should end back by the plus sign and just change that to a subtraction. And then hit enter. And our other value is -1. Our zeros are 2 and -1. The answer is actually 4. Now I know some of you are probably wondering, why are there 2 answers? The reason for that is because your leading coefficient, the greatest exponent, is a 2, which means that you will have 2 solutions. So whenever you have a polynomial, always look to see which variable has the highest exponent, and that tells you how many solutions you will have. You will have 2. Okay, last one, because I have no idea what you will see on the test. So here this says to solve 5x squared plus 6x equals -1. When they say that you're finding the zeros, it must equal to 0. Okay, that's what they're saying. When they say the zeros of the function, it means that the 3x squared minus the 3x minus the 6 equals to 0. That's what it means. Here, this is not set to 0. So what we have to do is we have to move this -1 over here. If you have 5x squared plus 6x, if you're moving this -1 over to the left-hand side, when it crosses the equal sign, this negative is going to become a positive. So whenever you go over, I call that the border, you're going to have to change. So if you are a -1, it becomes a +1. And then that equals to 0. It's like if you were adding 1 to both sides, like that. An easy way without doing all of that adding 1, you just take it over. So I tell my students, okay, the equal sign is the border. So suppose this -1 is in the United States and they want to go to Canada because they have better health care. So when you immigrate, you now become a Canadian. So you're not American anymore. When you were a -1, you were an American. When you go over, you become a Canadian. So you can't be -1 anymore. You have to be +1. Hope that makes sense. So then from here, I know that A is 5, B equals to 6, and C, which has now become a Canadian, is a +1. Hopes that makes sense. Let's get our calculator and try this again. And remember, on the TASC test, you're not going to have 10 of these problems. Students go like, oh my God, this is a lot of work. Practice every day. It'll make a difference. You're not going to have a lot of them, but this is a high emphasis problem and you want to get it right. So I would suggest practice. And you're using a calculator. So it's just memorizing the steps. First step, we have to enter our A, 5, store. Okay, A, you have to press 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go a little bit quick with the pressing here. Enter. 6, store. Okay, 6 times, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Enter. And 1, store. And 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And enter. We've stored our value for A, B, and C, fraction function, and we're going to input the formula, -b plus, okay, second function, x squared, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need to square it, so we have to press x squared, minus 4, okay, we need the A, so that's 5 times, okay, remember you go to the right, now we need to enter the C, so that'll be 7 times, okay, then we come down, 2, and then we need the A, which we have to press this 5 times, and then we hit enter. Now notice your answer is -1/5, and our answer choices here are decimals. To get this fraction to a decimal, we're going to press the toggle button. I know I've been making videos and call it a conversion. I totally couldn't remember what it's called. Hit me today, toggle. When we press the toggle, notice it's -0.2. Our answer is either A or B. Don't know which one it is yet. Remember, to find out the other 0, you're going to go up, up again, up. You're trying to get to the formula. You have to have it highlighted. So notice it's in black. And then once it's highlighted, you're going to hit enter. And now we're going to press the left button. And remember, you have to press it 15 times. So I'm just going to be counting as I go along. That'll make it easier for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yay. So this makes it easier 15 times. And I'm going to change that plus to a minus. And I hit enter. Our two zeros are negative 0.2 and negative 1. Our answer is B. I hope this has been helpful. This is very tedious, so I would suggest that you practice. So you stop the video and you practice. This is high emphasis, so I would suggest that you practice finding the zeros. I'm going to do 3 videos on this one. This first one is using the calculator with the quadratic formula. I'm going to do a second video where we're using the calculator but not the quadratic formula. Plug and chug. You pick which one you like, and then I'll show you how to use pen and paper manual, because remember the TASC test is 2 parts. One part you can use the calculator and the other part you cannot. Hope this has been helpful. Please practice. Go back this page right here, and these are the steps, and go through them slowly or just take your calculator and follow my voice. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Good luck on your TASC examination.